Like she said that family's always there. My own brothers watch me get jumped. They're not always there. My mom even watched me get jumped. She didn't do nothing.
He pushed me first, and then I punched him, and he had to go to the hospital.
And then it came violent, and then I thought he wouldn't hit me no more, but he did it anyways.
Like, you gotta be macho, man. You can't let people push you around and this and this and that.
People that talk a lot of mess behind my back, they're really mad.
Any student's thinking could be insecure. It could be something like, I'm afraid my family's gonna fall apart. Or I'm afraid to take tests because I'm afraid I'm gonna fail. And that immediately becomes an emotion. As soon as you have a thought, you feel it. And the emotion might be, well, fear, basically. Those are fearful thoughts. And from fear comes a whole variety of actions, which could be resistance, shutting down, acting out, violence. You know, the whole gamut of everything you do comes from a thought. Everything you do comes from a thought. Every word I'm saying right now is coming from thought.
You're born perfect. Like, a baby is perfect. And everything they learn from their parents, from their fellow babies, whoever's around them, all that kind of stuff. You don't learn, you're not born learning, you're not born knowing how to walk, how to talk, how to be mad, how to steal, how to cuss. Babies are always happy and stuff. They learn as they're growing up we learn as we're growing up how to feel, how to act, how to not have respect, how to have respect. Everything we know we learn as we're growing up. All babies are perfect.
Like, that's why, like, when we're little kids, we're always happy. I mean, when can you imagine, like, when you were young, at a point where, like, you were just like, oh, you know, you were thinking about stressing about something. You never really stressed. You always just thought about happy things, you know, because you didn't really know what stressing was about. So I think that, like, we're all born with it, and we all, like, know exactly what's going on, but we all just need to get back to it and just don't stress about things that much, you know.
Growing up, like, for me, it was hard because I always thought that because the way my family was, I had to be like that. And because the way my mom's family was and stuff, I had to be like that. And I realized in health realization that I don't have to be like that. It's all about my thoughts and my feelings. I can choose what I want to do now. If I have a thought to go get in a fight with somebody for calling me a name, I don't have to do that anymore. I could just brush it off like whatever, you know? They don't know any better.
Do you know what a hologram is? A hologram is like a picture. It's a 2D picture. But when you move it in a certain way, it looks like it's coming at you. It appears real, right? Well, thought is just like that. It's kind of like an illusionary idea. But sometimes for us, it looks alive. And it takes control of our lives. The moment we realize that it's like the illusion, when you realize that, all of a sudden, little by little, all these things that you think are so real are going to melt away. And that true great person, it's just going to come out.
I actually used it in a situation, and the situation was helping out a friend, and I actually told her about what I had learned, not necessarily from them, but from my own self. And she was a friend of mine. She always had like a jealousy problem with her boyfriend. So I just told her that, you know, if you think he's going to be out there cheating all the time, you're probably going to feel like he's cheating all the time. And when you talk to him, it's just going to come out like you're angry at him because he did something when you don't even know he did. You know, it's just you're thinking about it. And when she actually realized that, and I seen her change, you know, her thinking, it made me think that I could do that with myself too. So it's not changing, but it's realizing. It wasn't more of a change, it just was always there, but now I just realize it.
As you just recognize the power of thought, that in itself starts to clear up your thinking. And you don't have to think positive or say affirmations or tape stuff up on your mirror, you know, I'm okay, everybody likes me, you know, that kind of stuff. Because there's something inside of us which is our, I guess, our understanding or or our consciousness that just naturally starts to awaken when we see thought. Now what consciousness does is, it's like a power that you have inside of you. Whatever thought you put into your consciousness, it's like a tea bag that you drop into the hot water, which is like your consciousness. And what happens when you put a tea bag in hot water?
The tea comes out into the water.
The tea comes out into the water, and all of a sudden you have the flavor of whatever your favorite flavor is. So what your thoughts are like is, it's like you're putting tea bags in your own mind. If you put in a tea bag of anger, you're going to feel angry. If you put in a tea bag or a thought of love, you're going to feel love. If you put in a tea bag of jealousy, you're going to feel jealous. If you put in a tea bag of insecurity, you're going to feel insecure. And all that's happening is you're just kind of putting these tea bags in.
He did control me. Like, I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't wear makeup, you know, and he told me how to dress. And then it came violent. And then, you know, and then I thought it was going to be okay. I thought he wouldn't hit me no more. But he did it anyways.
Did you finally break up with him?
Yeah. Now it's over.
And then when you kind of thought maybe I should get out, what thoughts were going through your head that kept you in it?
I guess no one could love me anymore and stuff. I can't find nobody else and stuff like that.
So you were afraid maybe you wouldn't be with anybody else. Okay. Now, that's a good example of a thought. That's just a thought. Because do you think that's really true?
Nope.
Yeah, it's not true, right? But it's funny how we think those things.
Your thoughts lead to your actions, and if you can control your thoughts, you can control your actions. Like, I'll get mad at my mom for something, just any random thing, and I'll start yelling, and then I'll think, hey, you know, why am I, you know, mad at her? I'm not. You know, it's not her I'm mad at. It's something else that's pissing me off. And then I can think about what it is, and I can try to, you know, get rid of that thought, and then it helps me in the long run, because then I don't act out as much with, you know, bad actions. So I think personally it's just like, if you can control your thoughts, you can control your actions.
If you all of a sudden feel an emotion like anger, how is it helpful to know where it's coming from? Would that be helpful to know that it's coming from your own thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can stop feeling angry.
So you could stop feeling angry? If somebody came up to me and say I heard that somebody was talking about me behind my back. Now, for me to be upset about that, I have to have some thoughts, right? Okay, so when I start to realize, okay, wait a second, I'm the one who has the thoughts. Here's a possibility. I want you to just consider it. What if you were to not think those thoughts? You'd be fine, right?
And then you would be okay.
You would be okay.
Yeah, I would be okay.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to go and fight. Does that sound realistic, or does that just sound like I could never do that?
Sounds realistic.
It sounds realistic to you?
If I had a bad day and all these things weren't working out, you know, I missed the bus or it didn't come on time, I just have to sit there and realize, you know, it's just that I got to deal with it, and I have to realize that I'm in a bad mood and just accept it and then move on from there. I can't just keep, you know, going back on it all the time and keep making me angry throughout the whole day.
Let's say you just got in a fight with someone, right? And you're just like so heated, and you just need to step back for a second and just be like, just who cares? And just deal with it. So as long as like you get out of that moment for a second, then you can calm down and like take it. You know what I'm talking about? You can like take it by step. But if you're like all heated about it and you're going crazy, or like if your makeup's messed up or something, let's say you wanted to go to school that day, as long as you're not stressing about it, it's not gonna bug you as much. Because if you, the whole day, you know, if you're sitting in classroom and you're just like, God, my makeup's messed up, or I think I'm a slut, you know, or like I'm poor, they're gonna be like, you're thinking, oh, they're gonna think I'm poor and all this, and then you're just totally imagining all this stuff that no one's even thinking at all. You know what I'm talking about? Just because your makeup's messed up. But you could just solve that by just thinking, who cares?
Whatever experience they have, it's created through these gifts that we have. When the kids start kind of getting a little idea about that, sometimes they call it an attitude. you know. It's like, you know, sometimes I have a really bad attitude towards somebody, and they talk about, you know, I was just in a really bad mood with somebody. But when they start kind of getting an insight about the fact that they are creating that experience, all of a sudden, they gain the freedom to be who they are. Because they start noticing how they've created these roles, how they create these beliefs, and they start kind of easing into their health. They're kind of easing into the nature of who they really are.
It's not changing, but it's realizing. It wasn't more of a change, it just was always there, but now I just realize it.